longer video because we realized we've only been filming 1 minute videos. Okay, so why haven't we created content in the last so many years? We're just gonna go ahead and finally just bite the bullet and admit it publicly. We fucked up. We made too many commitments. And then our dad got cancer again. He had been in remission for all of 2 months and completely relapsed. And then he got COVID and never recovered, and he died from COVID. His death and the illness leading up to it sent us into one of the deepest depression spirals we've ever been in. Almost as bad as when Matt was throwing us off tall buildings and conveniently missing the ground. We didn't have the integrity at the time or the wherewithal to tell the people we had made commitments to that we were going through it. And so they cut us out. That's their choice. I had honestly thought that the bonds we had built over several months were stronger than that, but parasocial relationships can be like that. And I'm fairly certain there's more to it. I'm not gonna pry. I'm not gonna ask. I know Matt did something stupid and tried to reach out, and we basically got told in no uncertain terms that we were not to have any contact with any of those people anymore. Which then set me and my twin off and made our depression even worse. Thankfully, Matt had decided to just embrace existential dread instead of taking it out on the body, because we could have been in a really, really bad state. It was at that time we started scaling back our content creation, everything from music to streaming. We just started doing it less and less and less. Because we were afraid that if we made content again and something happened, we would have made commitments, and those commitments wouldn't be met, and we'd be abandoned again. Does it justify any of the actions we took? No. And we've accepted that. We hope all of the people who cut us off are doing well in their lives. But one of the actions we took was entirely our fault. We purged every server we were in that shared a common point with the people we were told not to have contact with. And Matt did try to rejoin some of those servers because he didn't know what the fuck was going on and he was still confused. But in the process, we wound up financially cutting off NPC risk from the nitro boosts we'd been providing. And we acknowledge that that was on me and my twin. That was our mistake. We had been told not to have contact in any way, shape, or form with these individuals, and we took drastic measures at the time to ensure that that didn't happen. That upset a lot of people, and that made the situation worse. We are now in servers with some of those individuals again, but we have learned how not to interact with them or interact in any conversations they may be having. I do my best to ignore them. I hope they're well, but eventually it got to the point where anytime we've tried to put ourselves out into a community, we've started to exhibit some of the same toxic, attempting to make too many friends too fast behaviors. And I know that doesn't sound toxic on its face. Trust me. The place it comes from inside us is very toxic and needs time to heal before we can ever truly be a part of anything again. And that applies to the Neopets community too. There's a reason I'm not active on any of the forums or in the Discord anymore, because I can't risk opening myself up again. And for those who say, well, you deserve it, you're right. I deserve to be cut off from a lot of people because I hurt them. But I've also come to acknowledge that I do deserve community, and TikTok was the closest I ever had to community on my old account before someone Thanos'd it. So yeah. As for the reason 2/3 of me are asleep, take a look at who's president again. Most of us can't cope. I'm barely coping. Selu's barely coping. I just wish there was some way I could have friends again. I'm not saying that's the right choice for all of me. We don't know if that's the right choice for any of us, but I do wish that. The few friends we still have, it helps, but having a community really makes life more bearable, you know? Anyway, that is my confession.